Welcome, everyone. My name is Lynn Schuessler-Williams. I'm a speaker, coach, and author out of Louisville, Kentucky. It is my great pleasure to be your host for the Success Partners International Wednesday Training Call. And it's a Zoom tonight. We love these Zoom meetings. We get so much out of the interaction and seeing each other and seeing our trainers and seeing their materials. And tonight I get to introduce the leader of Success Partners. He's a Millionaire Club member a couple times over. He's a mentor and friend to each and every one of us. Mr. John Drennan, the call is yours.
Well, thanks so much, Lynn. John Drennan here. And you might notice white shirt, derby tie. I was at a Louisville event tonight, and Kentucky Derby's coming up. So I pull out the derby tie a few times every year about this season. The excitement in this city is building big time for the Kentucky Derby that runs the very first Saturday of the month of May. So with that, welcome everyone. And I'm honored to do part one of tonight's training Zoom, and I commend you for being on. You know, success does begin with showing up, and you've done that. And for any of the brand new associates, and for the veterans who are on this training, kudos on being aligned with a company that's got such an incredible mission, that's got so much opportunity, and that has created generational wealth already for families. And we've just seen the beginning. So congratulations. And for the brand new people, I want to do two things. I want to start with zeroing in on what to do to get your business started. And it really starts with being clear on why you got started. And, you know, we could ask 10 people, why'd you get started? We'll get 10 different answers, maybe a couple versions of the same answer. Some people say, I want to be able to leave my job eventually, or I want to make more money with my job, or I've been such a victim of the legal system or identity theft that I want to help people. Or I want to expand my contacts and my skills, or all the above. So why are you here? It's really important to understand that, because that will allow you to carry on when it gets difficult and to do the things you need to do. So let's get into what do you need to do. You know, when you get started, there's a lot of things you could do. Just like when you buy a new car, there's a lot of things you could do. You could go online and see what everyone has to say about your new car and what it's like to drive it. You could read the manual. You could hang out at the dealer and ask questions, or you can get in the car and start driving. And so that's what you want to do in LegalShield. Get in the car and start driving. Now, when you start driving that new vehicle and you realize you've got a question or you need some coaching, what do? You Google it. You go back to the dealer. You pull out the manual. You test things. Well, it's the exact same thing here. So you want to start driving this car called LegalShield with the intention of doing what we call Fast Start Qualify. And so let me talk about how to Fast Start Qualify and then why you want to do that. And so how you Fast Start Qualify is, number one, you call the law firm. You use the service. You become a product of this product. I remember when I got started, this company in Illinois owed me $200 and they were refusing to pay it. Now, I wasn't going to chase that down 2 states away from where I lived, but then I got LegalShield. So my Michigan law firm led me to my Illinois law firm that wrote a letter to the company, and I got my money within a week. Now, right then, I had belief, I had know-how, I had a story, I had confidence, and that was a game changer. I'm still telling that story 21 years later. So you use the service. Secondly, you make a list. And by the way, I've created a video that's now on YouTube. It's gotten over 3,000 watches. It's 5 minutes on how to build a big list. But if you're brand new, you need a list of at least 30 names. So you write a list. Now, who goes on that list? Well, it could be neighbors, friends, people from school, people from work, customers, family members, you know, people you do business with, your dentist, your banker, all your psychologists, you know, you put 30 people on that list. Then what are you going to do? You're going to invite them to look at or pay attention to information. Now, here's the beauty of getting started. You're not the one giving the information. You're not the presenter. You're the inviter. In church, we would say you're the usher. The preacher's going to preach, but you're going to take the offering. So you're the inviter. So what do you invite to? Well, you invite people to take a look at a video from Prospect. And you might not know what Prospect is yet. Your sponsor will help you with that. Or you might invite to a local presentation right in your backyard market, a briefing, a luncheon, some kind of event. Or you bring people to your house and do a grand opening, which is what we recommend. You schedule that right away and get a handful of people to your home, to your living room, to your basement, to your backyard, or to a meeting center, a office, a classroom where you can gather some people. Let them see a presentation presented either by the video or your sponsor, your support team, or some really skilled speaker in the marketplace. And then obviously you're going to follow up with those people, but what do you say to invite and what do you say to follow up? That's where your sponsor and your team come in. The invitation is going to be very simple. I found something valuable. I want you to see it the way I saw it, to see if you see the value I see. Can you come to my house? What are you doing Tuesday night that you can't get out of? Can I buy you lunch on Friday? Whatever the options are, again, work with your sponsor and support team. Okay, so how many do you want to invite? 30. Here's why. You invite 30, you're almost guaranteeing that you're going to fast start qualify. So I talked about why do you want to fast start qualify. Here are the reasons. Number one, you're going to get paid. Number two, you have a chance to get paid a lot. There's bonuses right away of $200. So literally in 2 days, you could make $200 in bonuses beyond your commission. Number three, you're going to double what your commissions are going forward. Number four, you will have done the first step into our bonus program. And then five, you've got a story to carry with you the rest of your career, that you got started, you followed some coaching, and you went ahead and got what we call fast start qualified. You got paid, you got a bonus, you got momentum. So how do you do it? Use the service, make a list, invite those people, follow up, and use your support team and your coaches and your mentors every step of the way. The sooner you do this and do that fast start qualification, the better. Okay, the next thing you want to do is schedule and go to fast start training. Now that you've done step one and gotten paid, gotten promoted, broke the ice, you got an idea what's going on, schedule and go to a fast start training that doubles your bonuses, and then start accessing more into our websites. And I'm going to see if I can pull up a site here. I might need some help. Bear with me, please. Lynn, I don't know if you're able to pull up begintheascent.com or Timmer.
Yeah, sure. Just a second.
Okay. I had it loaded, but when I go to share, I don't see it. So what she's pulling up is a website called Begin the Ascent, A-S-C-E-N-T, begintheascent.com. This website's amazing. It was put together by one of our leaders who you'll hear from briefly or shortly. There it is. You can see it says Team Ascent, and I got to figure out how I can see it now. Bear with me. So you don't need to be an expert on using Zoom to do this. Lynn, any idea how I can see it? Can anyone still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
You should be able to see it when I share my screen.
It came up for a moment and then disappeared. So bear with me, folks.
Well, it disappeared because I had to come back to the Zoom room.
Okay. Let's try it one more time. And There it is.
You should be able to see it now.
I see it now. So begintheascent.com. So if you, and Lynn, I'm going to let you maneuver this if you can, please. So go ahead and you see there in the bottom center, it says success starts here. So go ahead and scroll down. It says congratulations. So you got a couple paragraphs there, and then the associate onboarding, click below. Let's go ahead and click on the associate onboarding. And that's going to open up a few things. I want you to pay attention to step 3. And Lynn, if you scroll that a little bit, you can go ahead and click on download the first steps. And when you do that, it's going to open up the first steps. And much of what's on here, I just covered. You can see, make your list, invite, etc. So you want to go through this as a support material to what I just talked about. So we can back out of that. That's 2 pages, by the way. So go ahead and print that, folks, when you get to that page and pull it up. It again, it's your 2-page getting started document. And you can go ahead and back.
Sorry, John, I lost you there for a second.
Okay, and so you can see Lynn just had clicked on download first steps under step 3. That's 2 pages. We recommend you go ahead and print that. And then step 5, it says watch the video. If you click on that, it opens up a video. Watch that video on getting started. So Lynn, you can go ahead and scroll down some more. And there's the video, by the way, so you can click it right there. And then you see additional resources. And so these are going to come into play later. So this website is loaded. Just like your car manual is loaded, full of pages, full of chapters, full of tables. You do not want to spend a lot of time on that. You want to drive the car, get in and drive it. Then you're familiar enough to say, okay, I want to go to the manual and figure out some and become more skilled here with my vehicle. So in wrapping this part up, we want everybody who joins our business to fast start, get paid, get promoted, use the membership, get some momentum, get access to the bonus money and the double bonuses by attending the fast start training. And then once you've done that, you can go to step 2, becoming a manager, and pick up another $200 in bonus. So with that, thank you, Lynn, for your help. And I want to go out to a gentleman who I just admire. He's doing so many great things in this company. I actually had a chance to be with his father, who lives here in Louisville. Tonight, we were at a Derby event together. And I got to tell you, Timmer, I was bragging on you. I showed your dad pictures of you being on stage in front of about 6,000 people in Dallas, and he was then showing that off to people. And I told him, you know, people admire you all over this company, all over North America for what you're doing. So it's an honor for me to hand this next part over to you, sir.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Drennan. Truly, truly appreciate you. And what a great first start training that we just had, a fast start training. You know, I loved it. You know, first of all, I love the tie, Mr. Drennan. Absolutely got to have a great tie at Derby time and have plenty of those. And I recommend for anybody who's never been to Louisville during these upcoming weeks heading towards the Derby, really it is a tremendous, tremendous experience. Encourage everyone to try and get down there. I actually think that the time leading up to the Derby is more fun than the actual Derby. And so I know you guys had a good time tonight. My dad called me right afterwards, and appreciate all that you do for our team. And Lynn, thanks for checking folks in. And hey, team, Timmer Halligan here in Chicago, Illinois, not down in the Derby City right now, but in Chicago in my office, and excited to do tonight's training. Mr. Drennan did such a great job of getting us introduced. And he mentioned, you know, Prospect by LegalShield. And I'm going to talk tonight a little bit about the power of Prospect by LegalShield, why it is so important that you and your team, you know, are consistently using Prospect by LegalShield, and really the magnitude of where your business can go by using this tool. So I want to just go back and paint a little bit of a picture of some folks from a couple years ago when MidOcean Partners acquired LegalShield, and that was back in 2011. Now, I want people to know is that They did 2 years of due diligence before they bought LegalShield. They hired a company called Decision Analyst to come in and do all the research. They were about to spend $651 million just to have the keys to the car, not even to do any overhaul, just the keys to the car, $675 million. So they hired Decision Analysts who went in and did their due diligence, put together all these statistics, did focus groups. I mean, you name it, they did it. I mean, they are one of the leading companies that goes out there and gathers data, collects data, analyzes data so that companies like MidOcean Partners could make big acquisitions like they did with LegalShield. And so they came up with a few things. Number one is that 60% of people would buy our membership today. Would buy our membership. 60% of people would buy our membership. Of those 60%, about 15% would buy that membership the first time you showed it to them. Like me, like 15%. So if you talk to 100, 15 would buy that membership right then and there. So you'd say something like, wow, having a will prepared, that would be awesome. Oh, wow, sign me up. Or, hey, you know what? I've gotten several speeding tickets. That makes sense to me. Sign me up. So there's that 15% there. And then you've got yourself about another 25 or so percent, right? About another 25% of folks that you got to talk to them once or twice. They realize the value in it. They see the value in it. You got to talk to them more. Then you got yourself about another, 20% or so, right? So then you got another 20% or so of folks that would say, hey, listen, give me a little nudging, follow up with me, stay in touch with me, and I'm going to get this service. Now, at a certain point, there's about 10% of people that it didn't matter if they were in cuffs. You were handing them the phone, and you gave them the 24/7 access line. They'd still say, hey, I got this. No worries. I don't need an attorney. So there's those kinds of people as well. But 60% of people would buy this membership if they just knew it existed and you could stay following up with them. Now, this is a part-time business. But yet, if you could figure out how to have full-time activity during having a part-time business, you've kind of found that magic key to success because now you are leveraging your time. So here's just some statistics on Prospect by LegalShield. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about Prospect by LegalShield, and then we're going to talk about the power of what it does. But these are the numbers. These are from the home office. And believe me, they have access to what's in Prospect by LegalShield. These guys are doing all of the data analysis for you, for us, based on the information they have. See, this information right here is pulled right from Associates Prospect by LegalShield. They can see the numbers, the statistics. And those that are using Prospect by LegalShield and LS Engage, and I'll talk a little bit about LS Engage, but that'll be for another training. But the majority of this information is in regard to Prospect by LegalShield. 207 times more personal recruits. That's not an error. 207 times more personal recruits for those that are regularly using Prospect by LegalShield. You have 41 times more organizational recruits when you use Prospect by LegalShield and your team uses Prospect by LegalShield. You've got 37 times more personal sales when you use Prospect by LegalShield. And 18 times more organizational sales. Take your number right now for what you have as an organization. Multiply that by 18. Take the number of the organization that you have. Take a look at the number of recruits. Multiply that 41 times where it's currently at. Guys, these are numbers that you want to pay attention to, because I hear a lot of people say, I don't use it that much, and I kind of use it, and I sometimes use it. And guys, I'm one of those guys that says that sometimes until I actually start to talk about it, and then I start to think about it, and I start to analyze it, and I say, oh my gosh, why do you ever, Timmer, miss getting information in there? Why don't you always consistently remind people about the power of Prospect by LegalShield. It is part of our operations manual. The numbers don't lie. So 207 times more personal recruits. How many people have you recruited? Imagine doing that 207% better because you've got something that tracks. So what is Prospect by LegalShield? Because we've got some new associates. We've got some existing associates. And Prospect by LegalShield is a CRM, for lack of a better term, customer relations management system. It's an app that you have on your phone. And you download it from your store, whether it be Apple or Google store, and you download Prospect by LegalShield, and it's going to give you the ability to track all of the folks that you've had an opportunity to introduce to LegalShield. Now, I still use paper, right? My bag's not here, but it's upstairs. It's got my notebook in it, and in that's got these wealth builder tracking forms that I write on, because I just feel more productive when I write. So if you say that you're the writing type, that's absolutely amazing. You still should use Prospect by LegalShield. If you say, you know what, I'm the computer person, and I'm going to go ahead and just use the phone and do that sort of stuff, you should still have paper, because both are really critical in my opinion. But let's talk about Prospect by LegalShield. It is filled. So let's say that I were to meet Mr. John Drennan, and we have a brief conversation, and I want to send him some information. I just need his name, his email address, his cell phone number, and I can start sending him information. Now, I can send him a resource, okay? A resource is a one-time thing that I can send him. I may send him a video. I could send a PDF, and I could do that via email. I could do that via text message. I could do that via Facebook Messenger. I could do it via other mediums, right? But the idea is it gives me the ability from there to send somebody from information. So a resource, once I get John in, maybe I just met him and I said, hey, let me send you a quick video about the services that we provide. I'm going to put him in there, right? And once, I send him that video, and, because I'm hoping he's one of those 15%ers. I'm hoping that when he watches that video that he's going to go ahead and say this membership makes sense. So I send John Drennan the video out of Prospect by LegalShield. Now, if I send it to him from inside Prospect by LegalShield, it's actually going to track it. I got the ability to track what Mr. Drennan has looked at. I get the ability when he opens it up, and when he opens up that email, I get an email. And then guess what? I could send a message to him. I could call him up or just shoot him a text and go, hey, about 15, 20 minutes from now, hey, about just checking in. I wonder if you had a chance to take a look at that information I sent you. Now, I know darn well that he just looked at it because it just showed up on my Prospect by LegalShield that he looked at it. And so I can text him. He's like, oh, yeah, I just happened to be looking at it. He's probably like, wow, how did he know I was looking at it? And so then, in fact, it's funny. I had an associate come on board after, she was a member. And she's like, you kept, as I'm training her, I'm saying, this is what you want to do. She goes, that's how you always knew that I was watching those videos. Yep, that's how I always knew that you were watching those videos. And so now I'm able to track it. Now, let's say he doesn't join when I send him that first video. I follow back up with him. I get somebody maybe to do a three-way call. For me personally, when I'm selling the membership, I don't do the calls as three-way calls. I mean, I sell the membership. But some folks I do help out and do three-way calls, especially if you're new and you want to get introduced to it. Now, if it's a recruiting prospect, I'm always going to have an expert with me when I make that phone call. Always, always, always. That's what I'm going to do. So once he doesn't join, right, or he's not ready yet, then I'm going to take him and I'm going to put him into a campaign. You can assign a campaign to him. And I always use the membership. Guys, I'm one that leads with the membership. So I send the membership video when I bring him on board, or I put him into Prospect by LegalShield because he didn't get the membership. I'm going to put him in the membership campaign. So I want him to see the membership. I want any potential associate to see the value of the membership first. As soon as they go, wow, this membership makes sense. I'm sitting down with them. I'm talking with them. I'm getting some referrals. I'm going to tell them about the opportunity, and then it'll help me decide, or it'll help him decide. Now that he's got the membership and sees the value to now want to become an associate with us. So I send the membership campaign. Doesn't mean 100% of the time. There are people I come across where we talk about the opportunity, and then when I do that, I'm going to do this. I'm going to send them the membership video first. No matter what, I'm always sending the membership video first. And then when they see the value in that, even if they're going to work with me or want to work with me, I'm then going to send them, put them into the associate campaign, right? The recruiting campaign. It will then start to send them emails. Now, this is where the power. Now, some folks will go, well, I don't really like the emails that they have written. Well, let me tell you, they're going to write them and they're going to be there and they're going to be more effective than we are. And I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to show you how, because that's the tool of prospect. So let's take a look here. Let's talk about the 2-a-day phenomenon. Okay. The 2-a-day phenomenon is if you can go out there and have 2 brand new contacts a day that go into Prospect by LegalShield. Now they have to, opt into Prospect by LegalShield. So your goal is to get 2 people a day every single day to opt in, to get information from you. Now, that information, right, when you take a look over here, 2 contacts, 5 days a week. That's 10 a week. Get 2 days off, right? I think you could still do 2 a day if you wanted to. That's 520 prospects that you've met during the year. So it's 520 seems like a lot until you're doing only 2 a day. Now, 60% of those people will buy this membership. I'm not saying all 60 are going to buy it, right, or 60% are going to buy it, but I know they will. I know those numbers, and I believe they're low. How do I know that? Because I've written thousands of memberships, and if you prospect with people, and I'm not talking about groups, I'm talking about one-on-one individuals that I've met and just had conversations with. 60%, I think it's low, but we'll take that number. And if I just said the average membership was $100, that's $31,200 worth of income. And I know those numbers to be true. Now, take a look at down below where it says 520 contacts, right? That's how many contacts I had. Now, Prospect by LegalShield in the membership campaign is going to send about 15 emails during that first year, about 15. And so that means 7,800 emails are going to be sent on your behalf. Guys, I send a lot of emails. I don't think I've sent 7,800 emails in the last 10 years, right? I don't like writing emails. I know they're necessary, but when you can have it systematic like it is here, 7,800. Now, I think that it takes about, I'm giving me the low end. I copy and paste a lot of my emails that I send myself. I save them once because I'm going to send the same stuff over and over to people. But 5 minutes per email, that's 39,000 minutes. 39,000 minutes. That is 650 hours of your time. By putting them in there 2 a day, 5 days a week, 7,800 emails sent on your behalf. And then it's going to show up when you go into Prospect by LegalShield. It'll track things for you. Guys, it's got some amazing features. I'm talking right now just about this aspect. So that's amazing, right? You look at that and you say 500, man, that's pretty incredible. If it's pretty incredible, say something in the chat because I think it is. Now, but let's take a look at this. Hold on here. What if you had just a team of 4 people? You and just 3 others, right? Just you and 3 others. We know what it could do for you personally in your income, $31,200, wherever it's spread, right? However it's spread, whenever it's spread, however it's spread. But let's just look at the leverage here. Think about this, guys. Every single time that you go to a place of business, a Best Buy, a Yankee Candle, I use this one. They're always trying to gather your information. Why? So they can catch you on the right day. See, Yankee Candle, I think they know that they can catch me on a Sunday because they always send coupons out or something that appeals to me on a Sunday. So it catches me at the right moment. And so I'll go to buy some candles or I'll order them online right then and there because they had my email address. It's all about the size of your database. Realize once somebody's in Prospect by LegalShield, if they're in there through you or somebody on your team, nobody else can get them in. True story. Colton Havens, had somebody that was somebody had put him into Prospect by LegalShield because he'd actually bought the membership. And, but they never put him in a campaign, but they had him in Prospect by LegalShield. So I couldn't get him, but I met him on Facebook, and then we started talking, and I was able to sign him up. And he said, man, if somebody would have been able to reach out to me, Timmer, we may not be part of this team together. I'm glad that person didn't follow up and didn't get him set up in a campaign. But that's why you want to get those things set up. But I want you to look at the power of what this is right here. A small team of 4 individuals, you and 3 others. You're looking at 2,080 contacts during the year, 2,080. And you're looking at, 15 emails sent. That's 31,000 emails. 31,000 emails sent out on behalf of your company, because those 3 individuals are part of your team. That's your Best Buy. That's your Yankee Candle. That's your whatever, your Target. Man, you got the database. It's in your system. Then all of a sudden you say, okay, at 5 minutes per email, that's 156,000 minutes. That is 2,600 hours. You think about this, a 40-hour job at 50 weeks a year is 2,000 hours. That's 40 hours a week, every single week, okay, for about 60, 70 weeks straight. I mean, every single day. You don't have that time. Your team does not have that time. But then also, guess what? In working in Prospect by LegalShield, one of the things that you want to do, one of the features it has is a training partner. Your team needs to be be the training partner of somebody who's a leader in your organization, right? Somebody that's going to be here, because guess what? If they're a training partner, like Mr. John Drennan, whenever he's got me as his training partner, whenever somebody opens an email from Mr. Drennan, I also get an email. Well, that's just super smart, especially with your team, because if you're their training partner, if that person has to step away, if that person no longer is in the business, guess what? You're still going to get notified when those people get emails as the training partner. So if John were to quit, and he was on my team, I could call him up and go, hey, I'm just following up with you. I know that you were working with my friend John Drennan, he's no longer with us, or I may say something. Now I have access to be able to chat. So it's brilliant, because it's the way companies are run. So then you take those numbers and you say 312, 312, 312, 312. If everybody's doing that, you're looking at 1,248 sales. That's a pretty cool for your team, a small team of 4 individuals, that are working together. And then you take a look at, hold on here. What if I had a team of 10? Just 10. Whenever, however, just 2 a day, every day. It's 5,200 contacts a year. 15 emails sent on your behalf. 78,000 emails sent out on behalf of Jane Lehman Corporation, Bertiel Axelson Corporation, Rhonda Brown Corporation. I'm just looking at some. Lynn Schuster Williams Corporation. Is your corporation sending out that many emails right now? Is it? If it is, more power to you. But that's 390,000 minutes. That's 6,500 hours worth of time that you and I both know you and all those people aren't going to spend that time doing it, because this is a part-time thing. A part-time thing that allows you to build leverage. That's 3,120 sales that are done by a team of 10 being consistent. Now, you got to follow up, right? Disclaimer, you can't just click the button. But guess what? It's going to tell you the people that are engaged. It's going to tell you the people that are looking at your information. It's going to increase your market share, because once they're in your Prospect by LegalShield. See, I get people all the time that say, well, I use my own personal CRM that I bought from, this company. Those are all great. But because you have them in that CRM doesn't mean somebody else cannot put them in Prospect by LegalShield. So then when it comes down to the consistency in doing it, what would you rather have? Your system, or one that is going to generate emails, get that information out and everything else? At least get them in your Prospect by LegalShield, enough where you're sending them resources consistently from Prospect by LegalShield. It's consistently getting better at all of the things that we can do. And that's where I send all my stuff from. I mean, I couldn't even imagine trying to find videos somewhere else. It's when I send them a video from Prospect by LegalShield, it's got my name on it. It's got all my stuff on it. You know, I'm not going to risk a bad link. I'm not sending a YouTube video. I mean, I'm sending them something that looks driven from my company with my information already on it. So guys, that's what I wanted to share tonight with everyone, is talking about the power of Prospect by LegalShield. Now, we talked a little bit at the beginning about LegalShield LS Engage. LS Engage is another app that you should have downloaded. It's your back office in the palm of your hand. I mean, I can sort through reports. I can find things. And listen, I know some people say, well, I don't know where everything is yet. I've been there too, where I don't know where everything is, but it's our company where we've got to be going to. It's so easy and quick. It's faster than getting on the computer. You still can go to lsengage.com, but go there. If you don't have the app downloaded, LS Engage, go there. It's got a lot of valuable information. You know, it really breaks down, for example, you know, if I were to open up LS Engage right now, give me just a second here. And you can find, like I said, if you go to begintheascent.com, like Mr. Drennan said, you'll see a link right there for LS Engage. You can just click right on it. It'll open it up right from your desktop. If you go to it from your phone, it just opens up right up from your phone. So you can just go over to our team website. But, you know, when you go over here, you know, it's just got some incredible statistics. You know, so for example, they've got some new things that are here. And so it's got your level advancement module. And they've got something cool now. It's called your business health index. It's a little thing that breaks it down. You know, it says, you know, I've got, you know, it tells me all the non-takers. It tells you if you had any reinstatements. It tells you if you had any complaints. It tells you where you've got any low retention rates. It tells you the percentage of people that may be in pre-cancel. You know, then it goes through and shows you all your performance club. It shows my mad streak right here. It says I've got 169 straight months for my team. What it's telling me is that, you can see that too. It says right now that, you know, we got 99, no, it's up to 101 people right now that in the organization that have their mad streak. You know, I can go back and look at it from, you know, back in December, there was 58 people that had a mad streak going on. So from a business perspective, if you've gone from 58 people that had a streak going and you're at 101, that means they're selling a membership every single month. You know, that's what you look for in growth. That's a cool thing to look at. You know, then you've got your performance club. It tells me right here that, you know, my personal persistency is above 82%. So that means I'm eligible for the $500 bonus every single month. So it tells me that. It's got a thing in here, guys, you should look at. It's called marketing dollars, right? It's right there. Marketing dollars are dollars that LegalShield gives you that you can use to order things like some clothing and stuff like that. You know, so see if you've got those, if you've got any marketing dollars. You know, what stinks is I've got, it says marketing dollars expired 16, you know, so I didn't use them. But I also see where it says I've redeemed over $100 worth of my marketing dollars. You know, then it breaks down all of this new information, right? So it's telling me, you know, for example, you know, it's telling me that the organization has written over $547,000 worth of first month premiums. That's my organization. It was interesting. I talked to Mr. Trent. I think he said like 3 million or something wild like that. You know, that's the first month premiums that our team has written. My team has written. You know, is you know, over $500,000 doing it. It tells you all the sales that you've got going on. It tells the number of associates, and then it's got reports. You can actually go in here and send an email and send messages to everybody on your team right from the message center in LS Engage. So it's a tool to communicate with all the different folks. You can sort through your organization. So I encourage you guys, take a look at it. But absolutely start to get your Prospect by LegalShield really fully functioning. When I mean fully functioning, that means preach it to your team, guys. Teach it to your team. Because the power of duplication, then you know always what your prospects are seeing, and you always know what your team's prospects are seeing, and then it makes it so much easier to have conversations. But the numbers don't lie, guys, and I'm going to quickly just go back as I end tonight's conversation. And based on what you've seen, which makes more sense? a plan that says 207 times more personal recruits, 41 times more organizational recruits, 37 times more personal sales, 18 times more organizational sales. I may be pretty smart in my own mind, but let me tell you, those numbers tell me that I may not always be doing the right thing. And so, guys, let's get back to the Prospect by LegalShield. Let's get everybody focusing on getting your information in there, and make sure you lock out your competition. At the end of the day, it's whoever's got the best database and the best follow-up truly wins. So I appreciate you guys joining us tonight. Thank you, Lynn Schuessler-Williams, for checking folks in. Thank you, Mr. John Drennan, for your training, that first part that we had tonight. And everybody have a fantastic evening, and bye-bye for now.